Hello and welcome to the incredibly influential and highly successful podcast. I'm incredibly influential.
And I'm highly successful.
It is Saturday, June 25th, very, very early in the morning as we're
Is it
recording this.
Saturday? Oh, I
Yes,
guess
it
it is
is.
Saturday. Oh, yeah,
Congratulations.
because it just passed midnight. Okay, okay.
Yeah, welcome to Saturday. You're joining
Welcome to
us.
Saturday.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's crazy. Um, what do you want to dedicate this episode to?
Um, to the people that work in the heat, it's bad. Especially, I live in Texas. Every time I go outside, between the hours of I don't know, like 10 a.m. to like 6 p.m. It's like 100 degrees. And if you work
Yeah,
outside, kudos to you. I don't know how you do it. I definitely, you know, I definitely could not do that all the time.
yeah. It is. It's pretty fucking hot today. Also, we should dedicate it to women because they did the thing. Roe v. Wade is gone now.
Well, you see, there was some people in my Instagram that I followed that were talking about that, but I wasn't sure the context. I
I mean,
I
we
I
we
usually am
already
late to these
talked
sort of
about it.
things.
We already kind of talked about it.
But I was wondering if there was like an update because it sounded like there was. Was
I
there?
mean, I think I we did know that it was gonna come out in June back when the leak happened.
Oh, okay. You mean like it's now officially publicly
Yes, they
announced?
released it. Yes, I
Okay,
don't.
okay.
I, sometimes I wonder about you, man. Sometimes I
Well,
wonder.
whenever you said they finally made it happen, I was wondering, I don't know. You see, I feel like, I just don't get things right away. Everybody, it happens to everybody.
Uh, you know,
Yeah,
yeah,
of course. You understand.
yeah. But anywho, yeah, that happened. We already kind of talked about it. It sucks, but we've kind of already gone over like our thoughts and feelings about it. Now's the time for we had a month to kind of talk about it. Now's the time for action. So yeah, that's mostly it. But
Yeah,
let,
cause
let's talk about something a little bit lighter to kind of distract
yeah,
from the hell world that we live in. Um,
yeah. Okay.
let's talk about some of the positive reviews we've gotten. Uh,
I did see that we got a comment from somebody on Twitter. They had Gray in their name. I
yes,
don't have it right
yes,
now.
there was yes. Thank you to uh uh at I someone's gray at on twitter.com. Thank you very much. Um,
They also found me on Instagram. So congratulations to you, I suppose.
I've advertised your Instagram before. Like
I
I've told
suppose
you
you
how to get it.
have, but I just found it, like very very out of the blue.
Well, we talked about like what you were doing on social media. I
Oh, you
think I
talked the
plugged your
McDonald. Oh,
Instagram.
it was the McDonald's thing. You're right. You're right.
I think that's probably it. Yeah.
That was it. That was it. I remember now. Okay, okay.
But yeah, they also left a topic suggestion, so we can sort of uh, tread back around to that. But
Okay.
on iTunes, on our podcast, we've actually gotten a 5-star review from Justin in DC. Uh,
Okay.
uh, the two hosts really slay it on this podcast as I appreciate how real they keep the discussion and their very funny energy and spirit they bring to all their episodes. The Supreme Court leak discussion was particularly excellent and shows what great human beings the hosts are. I can't wait for each episode to drop, and I hope that they do bring back Jennifer too someday, as she is just as much of a live wire and great contributor as the host. Amazing, highly influential, and incredibly successful podcast. Thank you very much, Justin in DC. Uh, very very appreciated. We have 2 ratings. Both are 5 stars. The other person didn't leave a review, but yeah, thank you to them. And
Nice, nice.
2 people that I've shown the podcast to have said that we sound professional. Can you fucking believe that? I can't
Oh,
believe that at all.
wow,
We
professional. I feel like
we're
I,
idiots. you
you
know?
know, like let me tell you guys a story that I just thought of, right? I
Sure.
was thinking
Yes.
about it, right? And I was thinking part of I feel like the reason like the podcast I guess could come off as professional is that we do like invest in like pretty decent headsets, mics, and I feel like that's kind of all you really need to make a decent podcast, right?
I,
Um,
that wasn't the tone that they meant like when they said
and
professional. They
and
meant more
also
like
no, I also I do think that we have been kind of nailing it on the kind of do the banter, the back and forth. I feel like there's not much dead air. I think we do a lot of things good, but the reason that I bring this up, the mic thing, is because
yes.
there's a story that I have a long
Yes.
time ago. Me and Nick, we've been friends for quite a long time. We've mentioned it several times,
I
but
think
I
8 years
remember
now.
there was a period of time, and you can tell me if you remember this, Nick. There was a period of time. I'm not sure exactly how long it was, where Nick absolutely refused to ever buy a headset. I don't know why exactly,
I was
but it was the
about
most annoying thing as his friend to play video games with him because I
I
would always have
was
to talk to him on the phone because he refused. And again, I don't know why.
for context, because I
For
feel like
context,
there is some context that needs
there.
to be stated. I was
Okay,
17 and I had no access to income that wasn't a holiday or my birthday. So
okay.
that is
Well,
sort of
look,
something.
look, Nick. All I know is what you've told me, right? And your words were, "I do not want to buy a mic." It wasn't, "I don't have the money to buy a mic." It was, "I don't want to buy a mic."
I I
So,
I
so
specifically
perspective, from my
remember telling
perspective,
you that you should have bought me one and you
I you
refused to do that.
you
So
mentioned that several times. But you have to understand, I was not highly successful until very recently, and even
I
then, it's kind of a it's kind of a stretch.
one might say that perhaps I uh, perhaps I made you highly successful. Perhaps is that that wouldn't be far off to say, right?
I would say you gave me the name, but besides that, I'd like to take a majority of the credit.
I
Uh,
I feel like that's nothing new. You do enjoy taking the majority of the credit.
I do, but it's because I deserve it.
Jury's out on that. Jury's out on
Yes, but
that.
that was my little mini story.
Yeah.
Because
Again,
I
I
remember we were playing Minecraft one day, is actually what it was. Uh, and you were talking about Microsoft. You were pretty much making every single excuse you possibly could to not ever buy a headset. You were like, I don't want to spend money on a headset because of Microsoft, because of this, because of that, because of that. And I, as your friend, am glad that you have joined not the dark side, the light side,
I
the
had
good
to
side.
buy a new controller and then buy a headset. I hope you remember.
Hey,
I
and
did
I'm
have to
happy for
buy
it. Let me tell
and you
you.
didn't financially assist me at all, even though I had
No,
no
no, no, no.
source of
If you no,
income
no, 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 no.
and I
Like,
was a
like,
full-time
look,
student.
look. As your I donated you like $1 on stream one time.
This was before I started streaming though.
No, with Zell, remember? Your first your
That
first
was
donation.
before Zell too. I had a
And
mic long
then
before I started streaming.
yeah, obviously you had to have a mic to start streaming, right? But I feel like if you think about it, if you think of all the money that I've given to you to support your career, I feel like it adds up to maybe one mic, maybe.
I haven't seen a single red cent of that money
Well,
other than the
The Zell
Zelle.
you
Other
definitely
than the
got.
Zelle. Other than the Zelle,
The $1
I have not.
Zell.
I have not received a single red cent from the Twitch subs that you've given me. So actually, the jury's still out on that. Actually,
Well,
you know,
I like to live in the fantasy that $1 that I Zell to you, is screenshotted and framed on your wall somewhere.
I
Uh,
it's
the
not. I
first
think it's
dollar from
gone.
streaming,
I
right?
think that text message is gone. I have it like set up so that after a year all my text messages go away. So and it's been about a year since I've gotten a Twitch affiliate. So yeah, I think it is gone.
Is there a reason why? That's interesting.
Because it doesn't want to save all the messages that I get because I get everything confirmed by text. Like every time I sign up for like an app or whatever, it's always by it's always by text. So like why why would I want to save all that? So it just gets rid of it. You know, if
Okay.
it's been a year, then it's probably not very pertinent, honestly. So it's like whatever.
Yeah, but like I said, you know, if going back to the whole "you made me" thing, if you think about it, didn't I also kind of make you? You know what I mean, right?
Did you? Did
Yes. Yes.
how?
Thank you for
I'd
asking
like to
me.
hear your. I'd like to hear your thoughts on that. Actually, I'd like to hear
Look,
this.
I was your day one supporter. You said, "Hey, I need 3 concurrent viewers." I was like, "Bet. Let me get my laptop out." And then boom, now look who's an affiliate. I'm just trying to say, "Hey,
You did do that, but I also did that myself. I did also do that myself.
yeah, but I watched you like, phone and computer. I don't know if it counts as 2 different accounts. I don't It might not, to be honest.
I did
I did
two
open like 5
phones.
windows on my computer
Yeah.
with guest accounts. I don't know if those count either.
I don't think they did. I don't think they did. I
But
did
the point is
actually get.
I attempted, I put forth the effort. At least in the early days, I know I've been a little busy lately, I try to catch a stream every now and then, but I
Do you
was
have my
there.
notifications on?
I do. Every time I get a notification, I look at the stream title and I think, am I in the mood? And then I think, what is he playing? What is he doing? And then I make my decision. I have to say
I
you
think
have
the
a lot
answer
of
is. I think
very
the answer
different
should be.
interests than me when it comes to like what you consume and what you play. But every now and then, it's nice to stop by, for a minute or two, say hey, say hi.
I think the answer should be. I always watch all your streams because I'm your friend, and I think that's what the answer should be.
There was a point in time where I
That's what I
had your
think.
stream pinned to my to my computer, and I would just refresh it every time you went live and then just mute you.
And you know what? That is exactly how it should be. Because I am your best friend.
You think
That
that's
you
how it should
should.
go back to?
I think that's how it should go back to. I think we should go back to that.
Oh,
I would like to go back to that. Let's do it. You know what? Let's make a pact. We're going back to that. We're going
well,
back to those days.
that's not exactly how packs work, but I will
Shut the
attempt
shut the
to do that a little bit
shut
more
shut
often.
shut up shut up shut up shut up. Just agree with me. Just agree with me. It's easier. It's easier.
I suppose.
Okay. By the way, I had something I wanted to talk about since we're talking about content creation. I
All
read
right.
something really fucking stupid, and it is genuinely kind of hilarious how stupid it is. So, um, this is a Gen Z research report from Murmuration in partnership with the Walton Family Foundation. I think those are the people who own Walmart. I think it's that Walton family. Basically, what they found was that Zoomers watch content that pertains to their own personal interests. And that was the dumbest thing I read like all day. Cause it's like, well, no fucking shit. What do you think we're gonna be watching content about? Fucking how to cook frog legs? No, we're gonna watch shit that's interesting to us. No shit, Sherlock. The point that they were trying to make, I'll give them credit for
Ye
this, is the point that they were
Okay.
trying to make is that they don't is that Zoomers like you and I don't watch
Okay.
content that is like we don't watch content that's popular. We watch content that pertains to our own interests, but it's like, well, no fucking shit, you idiots. Of course we're going to watch content that pertains to us. I don't watch uh uh football all year round just because just because it's popular. I watch the Super Bowl because the ads, and I watch Seahawks games because I have some vain false hope that they're ever going to win a Super Bowl ever again in my lifetime. I know they won't, so I don't do it very often, and I don't get my hopes up. But yeah, I we watch shit that's like interesting to us. It's like you were saying about how you don't watch my streams because you don't think they're very interesting, and that totally didn't hurt my feelings at all.
No,
Absolutely
I just said
not.
I no 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 no. Let's get it corrected here. I said I don't watch all of your streams, all right? I watch your streams, just not every single one of them, okay? Like I tune in, whenever you're doing that little tier list about Pokemon or something, or
I'm done with all those. I'm not gonna even. I don't
like
even
let
think
me
I'm
tell
gonna
you,
look
I
at
will be
content
there start to
for the new
finish
one.
every single day. Whenever you attempt to play Hollow Knight sequel, it's gonna be the my
That's
favorite
never gonna
time.
happen. That's never gonna happen. It's never gonna happen. But yeah,
Well, I have been trying my best to suggest that you play games that I like, that I enjoy,
yeah, and
and
I
and
just
I
don't
feel
listen.
like, I understand. You don't want to play more Hollow Knight, right? I still personally think you didn't really give it the full college try. I feel like you could have tried a little bit harder to understand the game before just throwing it aside. But I've given up on Hollow Knight, but Hollow Knight sequel, there's still hope for that, right? There's still hope, I believe.
No, there's not. There, I'm gonna tell you right now, there is no hope. You
Well,
should give up. You
uh,
should give up.
well, it hasn't come out yet, so I should at least try before I give up.
No,
It's better to
not at
try
all.
and fail than to have not tried at all. That's what they say. I think somebody says that, right?
Speaking of things that are trying and failing, I have a Buzzfeed quiz that I want you to take.
Oh, is that what we're doing now? All right, sure.
Yeah, we're just throwing shit at the wall today.
Or are you gonna give me
We're
the
a double
link,
digit.
or am I just gonna give you my answers?
You're just gonna give me my answers, and I'm gonna plug them in for you. Okay?
Okay, I got you.
So I have these lovely, lovely photos of these pancakes that we're looking at. You're gonna pick
Okay,
a
okay, I
topping
feel like I need the pictures
for
if it's
these
a picture
pancakes.
quiz.
No, no, I'm gonna
You're gonna
enjoy these
describe the
photos.
pictures.
I'm going to selfishly enjoy these photos and sort of describe them to you and make you hungry while I get to enjoy looking at them. So,
Oh yeah, that's great. I
strawberry
haven't eaten.
pancakes, raspberry pancakes, blueberry granola pancakes, mixed berry pancakes, buttermilk pancakes, and banana walnut pancakes. Which ones would you pick?
I'll go buttermilk pancakes.
Oh, wait. What's your zodiac sign?
Is that also part of this?
Yeah, it needs to. It's guessing what your zodiac sign is based on based on your breakfast choices. So tell me what your zodiac sign is first.
I feel like it'd be fun, to do it afterwards, right? That way there's a
Oh, oh,
reveal,
oh,
right?
oh! I see. All right, so buttermilk
Yeah.
pancakes is your choice. All right. So how about some eggs? How about some eggs? All right. So you got fried
Um.
eggs, hard boiled, omelets, eggs on toast, scrambled, or I'll pass. They know that you
Uh.
wouldn't pass on pancakes because who the fuck would pass on pancakes? What's wrong with you? You fucking piece of trash. You fucking piece of garbage. I hate you. But yeah, which eggs would you pick?
I'll go scrambled. It's pretty classic.
Scrambled, scrambled. All right. Now we're gonna choose a fruit. So we got blueberries, we got
Okay.
apples, we got
All right.
strawberries, we got mangoes, we got cherries, and we got pineapples. Which one are you
Hmm.
gonna pick here, my man? What
Well,
what do you got?
there's two that I like, but I'm leaning more towards strawberries right now.
All right, you're gonna pick strawberries. All right. Um,
Yeah.
Now for something sweet, I thought we already went over that with the pancakes, but I guess not. You got waffles with chocolate syrup. You got
Okay.
crepes. You got French toast. You got cinnamon rolls. You got pastries, and you got Belgian waffles without the chocolate syrup.
Okay. Now, the I might have to have you repeat that, but there's several good options in there. I'm just trying to think which one
So waffles
I'm
with
going.
chocolate syrup,
Okay.
crepes,
Okay.
French toast,
Okay.
cinnamon rolls,
Okay.
various pastries,
Okay.
and Belgian waffles.
Okay. Well, like let me give you kind of my thought process on this one. I know we've been kind of going the other ones pretty fast, right? But
Yeah, all right, let's hear it. Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
uh
For real though.
I've always loved French toast. That's probably would have been my number one, right? But
Yeah,
I
yeah,
never
yeah,
had
yeah.
a crepe until like 2 weeks ago, and I loved it. So I'm conflicted, right? Do I go with
They're
what
really fucking good. They are. I will
exactly? I
freely
love
admit that
them,
crepes are fucking great.
right?
So
Like I never had a crepe until 2 weeks ago, right? And
yeah, yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
as much as
exactly,
I love
exactly.
French toast, and it's been there, for years and years, I feel like that one instance of crepes, just overrules all those years of French toast, right? So I'm probably leaning towards
Yeah.
crepes.
All right, so you're gonna pick crepes? Is that your final answer?
Yeah, I think crepes are it. I feel like after speaking about it, it all made sense.
All right. Now, all right. So for your sides here, all right. So you got ham,
Okay.
sausages,
Okay.
fruit salad.
Okay.
You got bacon.
Okay.
You got fries,
Okay.
or you got no sides, zero sides.
Okay. Now let me tell you my gripe about this question before we get into my answer, right?
There's no hash browns.
This
That's my
is
gripe.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. I was gonna say who has fries as an option but not hash browns.
Exactly.
That's exactly where I was going with
Exactly.
that,
All
right?
right. Yeah. Yeah. Great
Because
minds think alike.
these are breakfast foods. I don't know anybody like that would choose fries instead of hash browns for a nice breakfast. For those
Exactly.
people, I don't know if I want to meet them.
Exactly. Yeah.
But
Yeah. That's correct. All right. So which one would you pick though?
okay. Now there were the okay. Now again, another conflict, right? So the two ones that I'm leaning towards, sausage and bacon, classics,
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Very
you
much
know,
so. Yeah.
and I feel like
Indeed.
I feel like either way, you're winning, right?
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
I but I have not had like you know it's one of those things, right, where I feel like obviously too much of a good thing is always bad, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But I feel like that I reach that point much quicker with bacon. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
I'll
Yeah.
eat bacon, right? And, if I have a couple too many strips, then, it doesn't quite hit quite as nice. But I feel like sausage, I can consume that a lot longer, a lot more of it before it
Yeah.
stops hitting. You know what I mean?
Sausage doesn't make you feel guilty about eating it as much as bacon does. I
But
will
that's
admit that.
but look, here's what I'm trying to say, right? What do I choose? Do I choose the one that overall is like my favorite, or do I choose the one that like I would enjoy more over like a bigger portion, right?
I
Because let me
think you
tell
choose
you,
the overall favorite. I think it's the
right?
overall favorite. I think if this is designing your perfect breakfast, like if you were only ever going to have this one time in your life, I think like if this was the last breakfast you were ever going to have, would you do bacon or would you do sausage? I think you would pick bacon.
Like, because I have to be honest, right? Like
Yeah.
small portions, right? bacon's the winner. But if we're talking about bigger portions, sausage is the winner. But yeah, I feel like I do have a spot in my heart for bacon. Another another reason why I was a little conflicted is because recently, it's been a long time since I've had like some really nice bacon. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I have it every day. I
Like,
eat bacon every single day. I have an omelet and I have bacon every day.
I definitely need to get into like cooking myself breakfast more often or cooking food at all more often because I am a little bit lazy on that. But I feel
I think
like
it's very satisfying. I think making your own breakfast every single day, getting that work in, putting that work in, getting the whisk out, whisking up some eggs, making yourself an omelet. I think that is very 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 satisfying. I think
I
that is one of the most satisfying ways you can wake up and start your day.
I agree, but not every day, I have that type of energy or that type of desire, So
Yeah.
it's more for me. It's when the mood strikes, But maybe I gotta
Yeah.
kind of just do it more often. But I do think bacon slightly edges out over sausage. I like again.
So
I just
are we choosing bacon?
Yeah, we're choosing bacon. I just kind of want to discuss my thought process because, like I said, I haven't had a
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
good piece of bacon in a lot longer than I've had some nice sausage. You know what I mean? I feel like
Yeah.
sausage is a lot harder to screw up too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Um. So all right. So how about something to drink? You gotta wash it down.
Okay.
Um. You got your OJ.
Okay.
You got your water.
All right.
You got your berry smoothie.
Okay. All right.
You got your energy drink.
Okay.
You got your cocktail, which is the wild card, and then
Okay. All right.
and then you got your coffee.
Well, let me tell you, like, I don't like if you choose cocktail, you sound like a fun person, but also at the same time, like I'm worried for you, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like if you're starting the morning with hard, if you're cracking open the cabinet and you're getting the hard stuff, first of all, your life is a party and I envy you, but also at the same time, maybe chill out with that. Your liver will thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, like kind of like I've was saying a minute ago, right? Like I'd love to be that person's friend, but that can never be me, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Um what are you
And
thinking here?
well, I kind of wanted to ask your opinion. I know this is more about me than you, right? But
Yeah.
I've never gotten into coffee too much. Maybe it's because I started way too late, but
You're
I feel
asking
like
the wrong guy. You're asking the wrong
I
guy. I don't drink coffee.
okay, you see, I didn't either, right? And I feel like recently, right, I've been trying to not drink coffee, but like make myself like drinks and like add like a tiny bit of coffee.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like for example, like like those really sugary drinks from like Starbucks that are like, like an ounce of coffee and then like the whole rest of the drink is sugar.
Yes.
It's like
Yes.
that like that
Yeah.
that's where I am on my coffee scale, you know what I mean? If we had
Yeah.
a scale, that's where I'd be at, right?
I couldn't even do that. I couldn't even
No,
do that. I hate the aftertaste of coffee. It's very
well that's
bitter.
that's well that's the thing, right? If you get enough sugar in there, it's you can't taste it.
I still manage to every time, and I'm a tea guy through and through. If
You
I'm
see,
gonna have something, it's gonna be tea.
I'm kind of the way you are with coffee. I am with tea. Like tea, there's that certain like taste that I'm not the biggest fan of. There are some teas that I have drank, right, that that aren't too bad. But again, it's
Yeah.
kind of the same thing with the coffee, right, where it has to be like that very very small portion of that flavor that I don't like, and then a whole bunch of flavor that I do like.
Yeah, I think with tea though, the thing with coffee is it's all coming from the same bean, you know? But with tea, you can put in just about any fucking plant you want, right? Like pretty much. As long as it's not poisonous, you can put it in there and
Hey, you
it
you
still
could make it with
hits.
poisonous plants too. I wouldn't
You
recommend it personally.
you wouldn't enjoy it very long. This is our disclaimer. Please don't poison yourself. Please don't poison yourself, please. Thank you.
No, no, don't poison yourself. But it is, I do wonder, like
Shut
just
up. Just no, we're not getting in legal trouble. Stop incentivizing our audience to kill
no, no,
themselves.
no, no,
We
no,
need
no.
we need the continued listeners.
No, 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 no. It's just a curious thought, Like again, we've already said our disclaimer, right? So I feel like we're safe, right? But like, how does poison taste, right? Does it taste bad, or would it be a
I think we
pleasant
could
taste? You know what I mean?
I most poisons taste bad because they're poisonous and the human body doesn't like to eat things that will kill it. So
But
generally they taste pretty bad.
okay, okay, but are you saying there's a possibility there could be like a really nice, good flavor of poison out there that if it wasn't
Um
poisonous, like people would enjoy it,
I think theoretically there is, but I don't think anyone's lived long enough to tell you about it.
Well, it depends on how bad the poison is, I suppose, as well, right?
I mean, yeah,
Well,
I guess alcohol is a poison technically, but people can drink it. But
well, now that we're done, discussing ideas that we shouldn't try, um,
what
uh,
drink are you picking? Because we need to get back to that. We need to
back to
get back to your drink.
I'm a classic guy. I like to do something that simple, right? I go with water. I go with water. Nice cold water in the morning, in the evening, in the night. Oh, it always hits nice.
You're going with the water. You're going with the water. I respect that. I respect that. I don't know if I agree with it. I don't know if that's what I'm gonna get at a breakfast time,
Like
but I accept it.
look, I can do orange juice, OJ, and I love myself a good smoothie, right? But 9 times out of 10, it's always the water.
And you know what? All right, so we're going with water. And now, all right, so finally, we're gonna. This is kind of out of left field, but they're asking, where would you like to eat your breakfast? So you got in
Okay.
the forest, by the ocean, at the kitchen table. It makes the most fucking sense.
Classic.
In the mountains, so like at the top of Mount Everest, at a trendy restaurant, you know, and then in the garden, but they misspelled it, so in the Graden.
Okay,
would you
well,
would you like to eat your breakfast in the Graden, sir?
like, I don't know about you, Nick, right? But I don't mind nature. I can appreciate it for what it is. I like it. But
Yeah.
would I sit down at a kitchen table that happened to be placed in the middle of the forest or the mountains or by the ocean and eat a meal? Does that
No.
that doesn't sound
Absolutely
enjoyable,
not.
right? You
Absolutely
have
not.
first of all, you have wind. Anything that's light is just going to be blown off your plate. You
Yeah,
have
you got pollen.
animals.
You
You
got
have
pollen.
just like bugs. You have there's so many there's so
Yeah.
many
Oh my god,
there's
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
there's so many bad
Fuck that.
things
Fuck
that
that.
that could
No.
happen. So this might be boring to our viewers out there, but I'm definitely a kitchen table type of guy.
All right, so you eat the kitchen table. All right, so this is kind of cheating because it gives two of them. Uh, it says Libra and it says Aquarius. So is that correct?
Well, before we get into whether it's correct, does it have a justification or does it just spit
Not
out
at
a
all.
zodiac?
We've just got this feeling that you're a Libra or an Aquarius. We got that right, didn't we?
I am sad to tell the viewers and you, Nick, that is wrong, and I want to know the justification. That way, I could
I
I could
would love that
understand
too.
where how we got to where we are right now.
Yeah.
But for
Um.
those out there that do want to know my zodiac, I'm a Leo.
Yes, you are. You're an August child.
Yes, born
Yes.
right
Yes.
there, right in the middle of August.
Yes. All right, and I'm gonna take this as well. It's gonna be a lot faster because I've been looking at these photos and I know exactly what the hell I
Oh yeah,
want.
he gets to see what the mountains look like.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We're gonna hit the blueberry granola pancakes. I'm feeling that. We're gonna hit the omelet. The fruit. I'm gonna hit pineapple. Honestly, pineapple's the shit. Something
Pineapple
sweet.
was like probably my alternative choice. It's just kind of the
Yeah.
same deal with bacon, right? It's just that for me, I just too much pineapple, gets bad, like gets old real fast. That's
Yeah,
just for my opinion, though.
yeah. Now for my something sweet, I am also kind of torn between crepes and French toast. I am gonna go with French toast though.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Um,
All
yeah.
right, all right.
Bacon, of course. Have something to drink. I think I don't make a well, they don't have milk on here, which is kind of weird cuz like what the fuck, who's not drinking milk, bro? You need to drink that shit straight out the fucking jug. Honestly, like
I,
if you aren't,
you know,
like
I
what the
have
fuck is
my
wrong with
opinions
you?
about milk. You know,
They're
my whole
wrong.
thing with milk, right, is that
They're wrong.
I've
Whole
never
milk,
been a super duper big fan of the taste of milk. You know, so I've always used milk in cooking and like in cereal. But if I ever had to drink milk and anything, I always go with almond milk. That's I
and
like that
that's
way
why you don't
more.
have bones. And that's why you don't have bones anymore.
No,
That's why
it's
you
it's
don't
it's
have bones.
partly genetics.
Well, that's
You
why you don't
know,
have bones. And I have bones and you don't have bones. And I would
you
say
know,
berry smoothie, but like I make myself breakfast every day. Or I've gotten back into the habit of making myself breakfast every day because I used to and then I kind of stopped because I got COVID and I wasn't feeling the wasn't feeling all that hungry and I didn't want to put in all that effort. But I need to get back into the habit of making my own protein smoothies in the morning. I need to start getting into that. Um, you know, that's going to be really really helpful. But I'm going to pick that. And then for where I'm gonna eat my breakfast, obviously I'm gonna fucking pick at the kitchen table.
you
Obviously,
don't want to be
because
adventurous. Have a
shut up.
mountain on
No,
Everest.
I'm
I
not
think
going to eat breakfast on Mount Everest. I've been to the top of a mountain before. It's overrated. You wouldn't
like
want to eat your breakfast up there.
to be honest, like I had a feeling that it was overrated. As somebody who's never climbed a mountain, I don't
Yeah,
know if I
I
have the
have.
authority to say that, but I just had a
I
feeling.
I've climbed 3. It sucks. It's yeah, you know,
Did you think it
it
would be
sucks.
better the second and third time, or
No, but I didn't really have much choice the second or third time. You know, I kind of said that's a story for after this. I'll get into it after the quiz. But here we
uh-huh,
go.
okay.
Um, but yeah, I'm gonna pick kitchen table, and all right. It said that I'm also a Libra or an Aquarius, and guess what, bitch? Neither. Neither. I'm a Virgo. I'm a Virgo, bruh. This quiz sucks. This quiz fucking sucks. I hate it.
Yeah, I have to be honest. I think that you should have clicked through randomly just to see if the quiz would worked, and it was like because I feel like I w- it's not a very satisfying conclusion. You know what I mean? I
I
feel like
mean,
if we
no, I
had
think
some
it's a
sort of
very satisfying conclusion because we're concluding that BuzzFeed don't know shit about breakfast or zodiac signs. So I
you
think
know
that's
what,
very
Nick?
satisfying.
Like this may be something that we do for a future podcast, right? But I I've seen that the quizzes on Quizhole, like I think it's Quizhole,
Yeah,
are are really funny, and I think that we could probably do some of those instead of BuzzFeed quizzes.
I think BuzzFeed does it's the meme. I feel like BuzzFeed is the meme quiz website, but I feel like
Oh, okay.
we could do that. Did you want me to tell that story about how it climbed the mountains?
Yes, when you were in a labor camp and you had to climb mountains and things. Of course, of course.
Um. Okay, so I was at a labor camp in Siberia.
Okay,
It was I was
checks
a
out.
political prisoner under Stalin.
I had a
Um.
feeling that it would be something political. You are very
Yeah,
vocal. You forget that that's not like you can't just speak the same way you can in America.
I can say whatever the fuck I want,
And look where it
and
got you.
I'm not in the gulag anymore. So who
Oh yeah,
really
how did you
wins?
escape? Tell me about your.
I told you I climbed 3 mountains, and I said I didn't have much choice on the second or third.
Did you lose him on the third mountain? Is that the moral of the story? Just keep climbing mountains until you can escape.
I might have lost him on the second one, but I just climbed the third one for shits and gigs.
Wow. It seems like you did have a choice then on the third one for sure. That's
I mean, I do you have a choice when it's shits and gigs? You know, because I feel like shits and gigs. It
wow. This is
happens no
truly
matter
an
what.
inspiring story, an inspiring true story.
Yeah. Um.
But just
Uh,
hypothetically, like if that wasn't the story, what would the story be?
I feel like the more boring version of the story is that I was at a behavioral camp for bad boys. You know, as one
Wow,
is.
what a bad boy you are, or you were, I suppose. I have to be
Um.
honest with you, Nick. Like, I feel
Now I'm
like,
just a bad man. I'm not a bad boy. I'm a
yeah,
bad man.
that's exactly where I was going. I was like, I don't think that like much has changed. I feel like personality wise, and like behavior wise, you're just as mean as you were before. Maybe even meaner to be honest. It's hard to remember how mean you were back then.
And you're a little bitch.
See what I mean? See what I mean? It's like,
But yeah, let me tell my fucking story. Let me tell my fucking story. Okay.
God.
So, the first mountain was sort of like the 3 weeks that I was at at the bad boy camp, and they were just like, "Yeah, let's climb a fucking mountain." And I'm like, "Fuck no, that sucks." But I went along with it
You
because
lost the
you
vote.
know No, I could have held everyone up if I wanted to, if I really wanted to. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this. And you know what I'm going to do right when I get to the top? I'm going to piss on top of it. And when I get to the bottom, I'm going to give it the finger. And guess what I did? I almost died. Uh,
Oh,
it,
that
it
that
was
yeah, that makes sense.
it was like the middle of March, but this was in Utah. Uh, in like a very very high desert. So on the mountains, it was still fucking cold. It was fucking frigid. There was
You
still like
know,
waist deep snow. Um, and I was decently tall back then. I was 13, but I was still decently tall. I was what 5'6", 5'7", maybe even 5'8", and it was up to my waist. And we just had to keep climbing. It was like a 8,000 foot mountain, and when we got to the top, I pissed right on top, and then I walked right back down, and I gave it the finger. But on the way up, there was like a little
you know,
area.
like it's one of those things, right? Like, what do they think they're gonna find on top of the mountain? You know what I mean? Like, why do they go up there all the time? You know what I mean?
It's because it's there. It's to build character. But anywho,
It's to build. Oh,
um,
this is your anime like arc.
sure,
Your montage. But from bad boy
sure,
to bad man.
yeah. But there was an area on the mountain. We climbed this without any gear. By the way, this was all free climbing, and there was this one area on the mountain that we couldn't really like climb over. And it was like this like rock face, and there was like a ledge, and then like a wall, and the wall had handholds, so we just had to like grab the handholds on the wall and just shimmy across one at a time slowly. And I was like one of the last ones, and as I was going, I lost my handholds. My hand slipped. So I lost my handholds, and I was about to fall backwards. And behind me, there was like a 50 to 60 foot drop, and just nothing to catch me, but maybe some snow or some branches to slow me down along the way. But I probably would have died. So my arms started doing the windmill thing, like spinning to catch my balance, and then I grabbed back on just in time, or I would have fallen to my death. But I kept going past that, and then yeah, I made it to the top, and there was a bunch of fucking wild horses up there just chilling, just fucking chilling, and it was
You
like,
see,
fuck
like,
you guys, they fucking they had it real easy, huh? Because they have hooves.
no, let me tell you, right? I'm not been to a lot of mountains, right? But do horses usually just chill at the top of them?
This was more like a plateau. Um,
So wait, like the vision is changing, right? So is it a hill? Is it just a really giant hill?
I mean, it's like 8,000 feet, so no, it is a mountain. but it's
Yeah,
it's got like
but
a flat top that's like
like what?
200-300 yards.
But look. See, I think a mountain. I think I think like steep angles, right? It sounds like you just you just
It
walked like a very gentle incline until you got to 8,000 feet. That's how I imagine it right now, right?
um no, yes and no. So it's the way I would describe it is they call it steamboat, but that's a shitty way to call it. Um, but it's more like a camel's hump, right? Like a one humped camel. Um, like it's sort of like it drops off on the sides, like sort like you on the front and the back sides it slips off, but on the sides, like on the head end of the camel and the ass end of the camel, it like sort of has like a gradual incline. That's the part we climbed, but there was like a steep face on both sides. Um, that was sort of there, you know. That's how I would describe it. Um,
Okay, all right.
and so that's how we climbed it. But the second mountain I climbed was a little bit later on in my bad boy camp days. Um,
Man, this is all
and
in 3 weeks too. That's
no,
crazy.
this was within. I spent 3 months there, and this was sort of towards my second month, kind of going into my third, maybe.
Was this
Yeah,
camp
around
just to
there.
climb mountains? Because that seems
No,
like
no, we mostly hiked on like the flat ground, like 5 days a week. But anywho, let me tell my story. So this one, uh, was sort of similar in that regard. It was a little bit more rounded, but still the faces were pretty steep. We just climbed up the steep face, just straight up, and it was covered in like loose rocks. And you can see the scars of whenever there's a rock slide on the mountain. And we were just climbing straight up there. And climbing up was pretty bad, but like I didn't really look up, so it was kind of done before I thought it would be. And then,
just
but climbing down
out of
was terrible.
curiosity, right? And
Yeah.
I feel like I have to ask this, right? Did
Yeah.
anyone at this
Die?
this place get seriously injured or
Yes, but
die?
not from climbing the mountain. Um,
Okay.
that's another story, and I don't want to tell it because it'll make one of my friends look bad. And he really
Were they that friend?
no 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 no. But he
Did they
was
did they were they the person that injured the other one? There's so
kind
many
of, but it,
layers to
it
this.
wasn't his fault. It wasn't his fault. But anywho, back climbing down.
Okay, all right, all right.
Uh, Again, it was climbing down like loose rocks, but you could look down the entire time, and it was terrible. We were doing that for like an hour or two, and it was one of the scariest moments of my life. Because
How
I
did
didn't know.
somebody like? How is it just safe? Like I feel like that's not safe. You know?
I mean, maybe it wasn't, but we all lived, so
Yeah,
who
but
cares?
I just don't know how that would fly. You know? Like
Uh, I
I
mean,
feel like you know parents that sign their kids up to this would probably want to have a guarantee that their kid won't fall off a mountain, but I don't know, I guess.
I mean, your chances of falling off a mountain are never zero. You know, there's
Well,
there's never a 0% chance of falling off a mountain to your death. You never
well,
know.
I do believe that you're wrong. Cuz let's say that I'm not on a mountain, right?
I
Then
mean,
the chance is 0,
you could
right?
be very. There is a slim chance that the what you are standing on could become a mountain in a very short amount of time. You know? And then you'd look really stupid because then you'd be like, "Oh shit! I didn't expect there to be a mountain," and you'd fall off and die. There's always a
Uh
chance.
I will let's agree to disagree.
There there is always a chance. But anywho, yeah. So that was very scary. And then Um, Sort of the third mountain I climbed was much more recently than that. I might have just turned 19 or I was about to turn 19. But anywho, this was last summer. My uncle and my uncle, I don't know if I'll mention him by name, but my uncle and I were in Tennessee and near Great Smoky Mountains National Park, if you know where that is. You know, Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, Knoxville, that area.
Nashville?
And no, Nashville's sort of towards the west of the state. This is more the east central, east, mostly east, yeah. Um, and we were we were around town, and I pointed at Mount LeConte or Mount LeConte something. I don't want to call it Mount La C word, but yeah, Mount LeConte is it's like one of the largest mountains in Great Smoky Mountains National Park, and I jokingly said to my uncle, "Oh yeah, I could totally climb that," and he's like, "All right, sure." And then the fucking next day, guess what we did? Guess what we did? He had picked out a fucking route, and this is what I love about my uncle, right? He is very much like spontan. He's very spontaneous. He's got a lot of like just spontaneity and go getter attitude. I think he might have had a little bit too much go getter attitude because we were both fucking wrecked. Me more than him, uh, but we both got fucking wrecked by that mountain. But we did it. We made it all the way to the top. The top of the mountain is like the actual peak is like a little bit of like stacked rocks. So there's like pictures of me just touching the top of the mountain. And yeah, it's really it was a fucking terrible hike, and the views were not worth it.
How
But
many views
God,
did you get?
I mean, Uh, I would have to look.
Did
Um,
did you get subscribers from it too?
I fucking hate you so much. I genuinely,
What was the view count? That's all I want to know.
I hate you. I hate you. You suck.
Ah, ah. We jest. We jest.
You're really dumb.
Speaking about
Um,
climbing mountains, since I do that all the time, I was gonna ask you right
yes.
now, how far are we along? Would you say it's about a halfway mark, maybe, or a little bit after?
Yeah, roughly about halfway. Yeah.
All right. Um, I can tell my story, my current story that's going on right now.
Sure. Yeah.
Um,
Go ahead. Go ahead. Tell your story.
all right. So for the viewers listening at home, I got myself a little summer job. I believe I might have mentioned it in the last episode, but
Yeah.
it's officially happened. I am doing like the fireworks stand gig for the 4th of July time. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you, it has been a pain, like setting up the stand. But
Mm-hmm.
the good news is that now that it's all set up, all I gotta do is just sit and wait for people to walk up.
I mean, I reckon that's all jobs, pretty much. But go ahead. Yeah.
Well, not all jobs. Some jobs, you gotta constantly be doing things. But
Mm-hmm.
I've not really done a lot of customer service jobs. Actually, I've not really done any customer service jobs. So, uh,
Mm-hmm.
this is it. This is the initiation, right? It's high stakes too. But so far, let me tell you, it's been very, very slow. As you
Yeah.
could imagine, it's not anywhere close to 4th of July.
Yeah. I mean,
So, but let me
apparently someone in my neighborhood is popping off, and I don't think they know that it's just supposed to be on the 4th of July. You're not supposed to do it every fucking night, but fucking whatever.
I I think that it's a state by state thing. I don't think
Yeah.
nationwide it's like only 4th of July, right?
No, I think it's just this one dickhead in my neighborhood who likes doing it. Yeah.
Like, I feel like I don't know. I feel like if it's like not super duper big fireworks, I don't see a problem with it. Obviously, don't launch like the huge the huge fireworks 2 weeks
I mean,
before.
it does piss me off considering, like, motherfuckers trying to work here. You know, I'm cramming in the last week of school right now. Like the next time we record, I think it will be the last day of my fucking first session. So I'm working my ass off here, and we're some motherfuckers popping off a bunch of fireworks.
Hey,
My
they sound like they're
dogs don't
having
really
fun
like
though,
it.
right?
My dogs don't really like it, and it's annoying, and I'm sure some veterans don't like it either.
There's
You
probably
know?
a lot of people that don't like it, but I don't know. I guess I just don't know how bad the situation is. But to
Yeah,
kind of like get back to my story, I um started yesterday, and I had to spend the night at the fireworks stand because that is one of the conditions, I guess, is that there has to be at least one person at the stand at all times. And because
yep.
my two
Because it's
little
explosives.
coworkers are my girlfriend and our coworker that we had from my tutoring job, they're
Yeah.
both females. I
Mm-hmm.
kind of just got voluntold to be the overnight guy.
Yes.
So
You showed me your bed setup. It's very ghetto looking. It
that's
is.
it. That's it.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll post it on Twitter or something. You can really.
Yeah. Yeah. We should definitely. If I remember to post it, I'll post it when the episode goes up. Yeah. It is. It's very ghetto looking. What you slept on it? Already. How was it? How did it feel?
Well,
Because
I
that doesn't
have
look
to
very
tell
comfortable.
you, right? Like, it's one of those things where I am. It's very hard for me to get comfortable in my regular bed.
Yeah.
I usually like toss and turn until it feels right. But I
Yeah.
noticed that I would hit a wall quite frequently, just out of habit of trying to move.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so
Sounds painful. Yeah.
it wasn't like I didn't aggressively slam myself into the wall, right? But it's
Yeah.
also, like I said, like very, very cramped kind of feeling. Um,
Yes.
and the one thing that I feel like annoys me the most, um, is the
Yeah.
fact that when I'm
Here,
trying
here.
to.
How about you describe it first, so that way the viewers kind of know what you're talking about.
All right, so it is a wooden fireworks stand. It has four gigantic windows, and at the either end of the stand there is like a tiny little storage room. I am at the I'm in one of those storage rooms. It
Yeah.
has two shelves that go across one wall of the storage room,
Yeah.
and then there's a door to the outside, and there is a hallway towards the inside of the stand, but there's not a door back, in between the storage room and the stand part,
Yes.
right? So I put up I don't know if I showed you this, but I put up a trash bag plastic wall as a makeshift door, you know,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I got an AC unit, um, you know, and I'm blasting all the hot air into the hallway, all the cold air directly at me. And during the nighttime and throughout like the entire time, that is the one thing I'm super glad about. Because if I didn't have the AC and I just had like a box fan or something, I feel like I would die.
Yes.
Not
Yeah.
even not even slightly exaggerating. Like if any of y'all live in Texas or have been to Texas during this time of year, it's like 100 like every day. You know,
Oh yeah.
And it's not one of those situations where it's like 100 every now and then. It's like every single day,
Mm-hmm.
right? I do have to say the one thing that worries me is that every time I turn on the AC, the lights blink. Um, it's a little worrying, but so far it hasn't been too much of an issue. It's definitely been a concern because oh, actually I have a little story.
All right, let's
So
hear it. Let's hear it.
okay. So the stand obviously has locks from the inside, right? That way I can lock all the windows and lock both of the doors to the outside, right?
Yeah.
Well, the doors to the outside on either end have it's like has a bottom section and then like a the window section at the top, right? So
Yeah.
imagine like the bottom goes all the way from the ground to like maybe like chest height, and then the
Yes.
window is just from chest height to the top of the door frame, right?
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, right. That way, if you only want the top open, you don't gotta have people walk in. It's real nice.
Mm-hmm.
But I was looking, last night, and I noticed that there just wasn't a lock on the top of this door, the one next to me in the storage room, right? So I had to call a person from the warehouse, and they brought somebody out, they fixed it, it was all good to go. But he got here at 4 a.m. So,
Yeah.
I was not able to get a lot of sleep considering I had to wake up at 9 a.m. But
Yeah.
so first night wasn't the greatest. And the second night, I'm hoping it goes a little bit better. But considering I am doing this podcast instead of sleeping, that's probably not the best decision. But the content for the content, right? Now let me kind of describe the how I have the bed set up here. Cause now they all kind of have a vision of the room, right?
Yeah.
So underneath the first shelf is just a whole bunch of cardboard boxes. And then on
Yes.
the first shelf, I have like an egg crate mattress little sheet,
Yeah. Little foam little
little
mattress thing.
yeah, little foam mattress thing, and then I got a blanket on top of the mattress to lay on, right?
Yeah.
And then I have two blankets that are like a little bit smaller to cover myself, right? One to
Yeah.
cover, uh like the 70% of my body that's like below, and then the other one to kind of just make up for the for the difference, right?
Yeah.
And then I have two very flat pillows that I think add up to like one
One decent one.
one decent pillow, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's about it. I am glad in moments like this that I have a 6 foot charging cable because the outlet is directly opposite of the bed.
Yeah.
So, I can still have my phone charged. And because there's no Wi-Fi, if my phone dies during this podcast, the podcast will also die. So we don't want
Well,
that.
that would be very unfortunate.
It would. Don't you just hate, when we have to
You?
re-record? It hasn't happened a lot, but let me tell you, I think that what was it? One of the first couple episodes we were having like some recording issues.
Yeah. I hate you, by the way. Anywho.
Yeah, but
Uh.
that's the situation for right now.
Yeah.
It's not ideal, and
Yeah.
this is going to be the situation that I have to live in. Pretty much until the fireworks stand is over. It sounds like the girls are just not gonna want to stay the night ever.
Yeah. 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 Probably not. I mean, I wouldn't want to, but um.
Yeah, well,
Should we do
yeah.
a big red button?
I'm trying to think if there's anything we missed. I did see on Twitter earlier. I'm not sure if you saw that we got a request to maybe do like a special episode on that Roe versus Wade thing. But I think that we
Yeah.
kind of addressed that towards the beginning. Like I don't really think we have much to add.
Yeah.
um,
I gave a quick sort of review on that. I yeah, I gave a quick little whatchamacallit? response to that. Thank you, Justin Connor, for the suggestion. Um, but yeah, I feel like we did already kind of address that in the special episode, and I don't really think we can really say all that much more that will really have much of an impact. And I think we, as we said at the beginning of the episode, we mostly just want to be like a fun distraction so that people can kind of forget what's going on. Um, but yeah, um, yeah, I think that's. Oh, the one thing I wanted to say before we go into the big red button is that your setup reminds me exactly like it reminds me exactly of uh World War II triple bunk beds on like Navy ships. I've slept on a Coast Guard ship before overnight, and it was really fun. Um, it was a really cool experience. I'll tell you guys about it maybe in the next episode.
Like
But
the the main difference between that and this is that those were meant to be beds. So I think they were built to be a tiny bit more
uh,
comfortable.
no, they were pretty awful. They're pretty awful
Yeah,
beds, to be
I
honest.
bet they're awful. They actually, they might. I can't. I don't have a picture for reference, and I don't know off the top of my head how it would look.
I
I
could send you a picture for reference. We'll
but
compare it next time. I'll give you a couple more nights in it next time, and then we'll sort of explain it and we'll tell that story next time. So
well,
look
I'll be
out for
here.
the next episode.
I'll definitely be here by the time we do the next podcast, I think. But that
Yeah.
night, that'll be like almost 4th of July. That'll be like a busy night, you know?
Yeah, I think it'll be either June 3rd. Yeah, I think we'll be recording on either June 29th or June 30th. So we'll have to figure that out. But are you ready for our big red button?
I suppose. I'm excited to hear what you have.
Okay, this one's pretty cool. I like this one. You will never feel any strong negative emotions ever again,
Mm-hmm.
but you will never feel any strong positive emotions either. So sort of to rephrase it, in the words of Pink Floyd, you will be comfortably numb. So like if a 0 is incredible intense existential anguish and a 10 is literally so much joy that you will die, you will stay at like a 5 or a 5.5. Like you'll be in the range of like a 4 to a 6 for the rest of your life. Would you push that button?
Mm, well, I feel like I've definitely had like some really low points, where like some bad things have happened, whether it be like the loss of a family member or whatever, right? And it
Mm-hmm.
sucks, but I feel like I always try to remember that things like they're temporary, they don't last forever. I know that some people kind of do have an issue where they kind of fuel their own sadness by being pessimistic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which makes their sadness last much longer. But I've always been mostly optimistic and kind of tried to look ahead towards those good times, right?
Yeah.
So I have a decent system of managing that, at least now. uh so I
Yeah.
feel like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't mind the bad times, because to me, I think bad times just make the great times better, right?
Yeah. I would agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah, so like I said, I don't think it's worth it, right? Because I'd rather have like like those a couple bad times, a couple good times, it balances out instead of just being like constantly at 5, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So you wouldn't press that button?
No, I don't think that button's for me.
Yeah. I'm sort of tempted to go on that sort of um that sort of response as well. I think that's probably where I would be. I
Like,
don't really think it would be worth pressing because like it, I know you don't really want kids. You've kind of I think we've been over that on the podcast. Maybe
well,
not.
I don't know if I've addressed it on the podcast, but the current stance that I've taken, right, is I don't want to say no, but it's one of the situations where at the moment it's a no. You know what I mean, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Like
for
there's
sure.
a possibility, but for the moment it's a no, right?
Yeah, but it's like I feel like in that moment, like you've officially brought life into the world, or like getting married, or like for my example, like doing those really hard things, like climbing those three mountains, that that intense pain, and like, oh, I fucking hate this, I never want to do this again, why did I do this to myself? I feel like the beating it, like being at the top of that mountain and being like, I defeated you. That feeling of triumph and victory is, I would say it was worth it. Like, looking back on it now, I only remember the good parts. I I remember the bad parts of the most recent one pretty well, but that was it. It was absolutely, I would say, worth it. And I uh, I don't know if I would do it again, but I think those positive feelings, that feeling of accomplishment, and like, oh, I did this. I feel like that was worth it, and I feel like I wouldn't trade those positive feelings for an avoidance of negative ones. But I've been in those pretty dark places, and I would understand if someone did say, I would like to be within a 4 to a 6 for the rest of my life, like that contentedness, and that like uh sort of like self assuredness. I can understand if you're at that mindset where you would want that, but I
Like
think there's so much more to life than that,
I do think I feel I think I already said like what I said before, right? Is that I feel like the good times are worth the bad times. But I feel like there is a scenario where maybe I would accept like constant like level 7, you know, with no possibility of going any higher or lower. But I feel
I
like
think that's
I
I think that's a little bit cheating.
or like a constant 6, you know what I mean, right?
Even then, that's still a
But
little bit
I
cheating.
feel like constant 5 is just like what's the point? You know what I mean? No matter what you do, you'll never be like particularly happy about it. You'll never
Yeah,
be particularly sad about it, but it's like one of those things where it's like what do you work for, right? Because
yeah.
usually that's what goals are driven by is those emotions, right?
Yeah, I think
R-
that's what being in the Matrix is like. I think that's sort of what it is. It's like
r-
being kept at a 4 to a 6, and I think I at the end of the Matrix 3, they're like, hey, you can either choose to live in the Matrix, or you can uh, break into the real world, and it's either like, do you stay in this world where you know everything, and you're sort of kept at like an average until you die, or do you live in this more challenging world, but it's more fulfilling because that it's the truth, this is what is actually happening in your life right now, this is the real world. So I think you can either choose to be content in this, or you can choose to live in truth. um you can choose to be contentedness. It's so fucking late right now, you guys. But yeah, you can choose to be content, or you can choose to live in the real world, but you can't have both. And I would say, but I respect both sides, you know, and both sides have merit, but I think both of us would not press that button.
yeah,
Uh,
like I definitely see like the appeal, but yeah, I think that this one is pretty easy for me, maybe for you too.
yeah, I would say so. I think
Yeah.
I think I don't think there's anything else we really need to say about it.
Well, we
Do
can
do you think
say
so?
farewell to our lovely audience.
Yes. Remember to follow us on Twitter at IIHS Podcast.
Yes.
All one word. Um, and remember to leave any topics whenever we post that we're about to record. We will we'll take a look at them and we'll probably mention them. There was one request that we didn't get to today. I'm very sorry. We will mention it in the next episode though. Thank you very much
Okay.
for your patience. Uh, or we kind of talked about it a little bit, but I don't think we really went super far into it. But yeah, I think that's where we're gonna uh, leave it. But yeah, remember to follow us on Twitter. I've been incredibly influential.
I've been highly successful.
Thank you for listening, and we'll see you guys next week. Goodbye.